Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of the In the Ring Show with your host, Devious Damien. Well, now that TNA's Destination X 2012 is officially in the history books, it is now time for my review of tonight's pay-per-view. Now, I know I said in another video that I wasn't going to do reviews much. Well, I decided to make an exception in the case of pay-per-views, being that they're shows that not everybody can watch. That you can only, watch if you order them on pay-per-view. So, without further ado, my review of Destination X 2012. Start off the night with Mason Andrews, Lars Only, Rubix, and Dakota Darso in a four-way match to determine who's going to go on for the chance to be in the Ultimate X match for the X Division title later tonight. So Mason Andrews wins the match. So then right after that, with no rest period, he faces Kid Cash. He goes on to beat Kid Cash, which I thought was an epic fail moment on their part. I thought Kid Cash should have won, but anyway, it is what it is. Andrews won. So then after that, we get an interview with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is talking about how he's going to make Kurt Angle tap out. He's going to beat him by any means necessary. Christy Hemme then asks Joe who he thinks is going to win between Austin Aries and Bobby Roode later in the night. He picks Austin Aries. Kind of shocked there considering that little mini feud they had not so long ago. So another X Division match to determine who goes on to the Ultimate X match later in the night. We have Kenny King defeating Doug Williams, which was a decent match, I thought. So then after that match, we get an interview with Daniels, saying how AJ isn't the man that Daniels is. How he's gonna beat AJ Styles tonight and blah blah blah. And he's drinking some fruity looking drink, looking like a fag, quite honestly. Anyway, so he's just cutting a promo about the match with AJ Styles later in the night. So then we get another X Division match. Sanjay Dutt versus Rashad Cameron. No surprise that Sanjay Dutt wins with the moonsault double foot stomp thing. I'm not sure what he calls it. That's just the best way for me to describe the move. So then after this, we get a video package about Jesse Sorensen's update. He'll be returning to the ring. His doctors are working with his neck to make it stronger so he can have a long and successful ring career. Those are the exact words of his doctor. So then right after that, we get a promo from Jesse Sorensen talking about how, his stay in the hospital, wondering if he'd ever walk again, wrestle again, anything like that. He thanks the fans, and then he says, Zema Ion, I hope you win tonight, because if you do, I'm coming for you to take your X Division title, and then I'm going to go on to next year's Destination X and become the World Heavyweight Champion. So then right as Jesse Sorensen's leaving the ring, out comes Zema Ion, and they have like a little face-off. They don't touch, they just have a little face-off. And so then immediately following that, we get Zema Ion versus Flip Casanova. Another match to see who goes on for the Ultimate X match. And Zema Ion wins. So then after that, we get Christy Hemme in the back interviewing the other three participants in the Ultimate X match, which are Kenny King, Sanjay Dutt, and Mason Andrews. And then Zema Ion comes in, and before they can really say much of anything, Bobby Roode comes in saying they're nothing, they're just X Division guys, they're not in his league, blah 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 blah. Talks about his match with Aries later in the night, and says he's going to leave with the World Heavyweight title, so on and so forth. So then we get a Bound for Glory series match. Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe wins in what seemed to be somewhat of a controversial fashion. And the reason I say is because the referee stopped the match even though Kurt Angle never tapped out. Kurt Angle, debated with the referee that he shouldn't have stopped it. Samoa Joe wins and gets the 10 points. It is now the current leader in the Bound for Glory series. So after that, we get the last man standing match between AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. Well, AJ Styles wins. despite Kazarian interfering at one point during the match. And he wins with a Styles Clash off the stage through a table. Now I'm hoping that this means, excuse me. Now I'm hoping that AJ's victory here means that they're going to stop with this horseshit storyline, that they're just going to let it go, and that's it. So we get an Austin Aries interview saying that he's going to win tonight, and that, you know, he's not going to leave empty-handed, and so on and so forth, and that he wants, you know, just saying that Bobby Roode cheats, he wins with brainbusters. So then we get the X Division Championship match, the Ultimate X match, which Zema Ion wins, which, honestly, I'm a little surprised at myself because of what Jesse Sorensen said earlier in the night. I really should have known Zema Ion was going to win, and I feel kind of stupid for not seeing it coming. But Zema Ion's your new X Division champion, which is going to set up, obviously, Zema Ion versus Jesse Sorensen. So, in our main event, we get Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode. Awesome match. I mean, great match. And tonight, Austin Aries proved why he is what he says he is, and that's the greatest man that ever lived. As the greatest man who ever lived is now the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And I'll tell you, I went apeshit, man. I was so surprised, because I actually thought they were going to book Roode to win this thing. But they didn't, and I'm very happy about that. So, you know, congrats to Austin Aries. Greatest man who ever lived, and he proved it tonight. That's all I got.
More than happy, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was definitely more than happy to see Austin Aries win and prove that he is the greatest man who ever lived. So, you know, that's all in all, tonight's pay-per-view I thought was very enjoyable. You know, I mean, it wasn't the greatest pay-per-view ever, but it was enjoyable. You know, it was... I don't have very many complaints about it. I do think that, you know, Mason Andrews being in the advancing in the Ultimate X match, I thought that was bullshit, but, you know, that's not really much of anything to complain about considering the quality of the rest of the pay-per-view. Granted, yes, I could have done without the Daniels and AJ match, only because we've seen that time and time again, but the match itself wasn't too bad, so I guess, you know, you kind of gotta look at the bright side there. So, all in all, I thought it was an enjoyable pay-per-view. For anybody who saw Destination X, what was your opinion of the event? If you didn't see it, what was your opinion of my review? Let me know. Subscribe, like the video, and comment down below. For this edition of the In the Ring Show, this is Devious Damien signing out. Good night, everybody.